days, me and my boys were one day, I have two boys, one's Mitchell's age, he's sixth grader, or my youngest is Mitchell's age, he's in 4th grade. My oldest one is in 6th grade. And so we were watching America's Funniest Home Videos one night, and it was a funny thing, because we're sitting there all cuddled up, we got the popcorn, you know, we just pulled out of the microwaves, we got our bags, and we're just sitting back, and all of a sudden this guy was washing the back end of an elephant, all right? And, you know, that's a real job to be proud of. Yeah, I watched the rear ends of elephants. Dude, I went to 4 years of college, I've got bills, and I'm washing elephants' rear ends. You know, so here he is, he's power washing off the back end of an elephant. And somebody off camera starts talking to him. So he stops and turns his head. I'll just tell you this right now. If ever you're behind an elephant, do not take your eye off the elephant. Because as he does, the elephant gets tired and sits down on the guy. It's exactly what you're starting to think. Because the guy's head was pointed north, the elephant was coming south. His head disappeared. His head goes up into the elephant, all right? So his head's completely gone, all right? So all you see is his arms flailing, all right? And finally some people rush to his side, they push the elephant up, you know, and his head comes free. But I mean, it was an incredible disappearing trick. I mean, David Copperfield would have been proud of this one, all right? Because it was gone, you know? And this is the part that scares me about people, is because I'll just tell you this right now, if that had happened to me, you'd be prying that videotape out of my dead fingers because no one had ever seen it, all right? But here is this dude. This guy gets his head free. What a smell that had to have been, right? You know, there's just certain moments in life you just go, boy, wouldn't that be horrible to yawn at that moment? No. But, you know, here's this poor guy, all right? But what's he do? Does he run from the camera, you know, and hide? No. Does he run to the camera and give an interview? Yeah. I mean, it's like he did this big proud thing. You know, it's like he stepped off the USS Enterprise. I have boldly gone where no man has gone before. You know, it's like he's done this real bad thing. And you just sit there and you just go to the guy. And yet here, I mean, so we all have bad days. Some will be good, some will be bad. Some will be real memorable because you'll make other people's bad days. See, that's what I look for. I look for bad day stories because then my bad days aren't as bad as they could be because I can think of other people. So think about that tomorrow when you get into that class and you have that moment. Or maybe you have something happen with a relationship. It could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a close friend. And just something happens, ticks you off, you get frustrated with the day. It could be something that happens at home, and you're just ready just to, and just think back, you know, it could get worse. You could have your head up the rear end of an elephant. And so at some points that might just help you. Think about that. Tomorrow when you're in school going, well, at least my head's not, could be worse. And because it definitely helps me. Perspectives do help us. But here's the part that I want to challenge you. Mark chapter 12 has an incredible passage where Jesus was, some Pharisees, which are some religious teachers in the day, basically were trying to trip Jesus up. And basically asked him, what's the greatest commandment? What's the greatest commandment that we're supposed to live out? And Jesus just quickly responded. He goes, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Without a doubt. That's the greatest commandment, he said, that we are to do. Is to love the Lord your God. How do we become a hero to others? It starts with what we do. By loving the Lord with all your heart, all of your passions, all of your longings. With all, not just your heart, but with all of your mind. It's your intellect, it's your thoughts. You know what's so sad today is that the world begins to make you think that if you're a Christian, you basically shut off your brain. And it is so wrong. Some of the greatest scientists, some of the greatest philosophers in the world's history have been Christians and believers. If it was not for their passion to think and to keep understanding, we would not have near of all the science that we have today. It's just a major, major lie. But engage your mind. Think. Passion. With all of your hands. All that you do. But then Jesus said something else. He goes, and the second is similar. He goes, it's to love the Lord. He goes, it's to love others as yourself. So God, basically, Jesus gave us the two great commandments that we are to live out. To love God and to love others. In the same way that we love ourselves. At some point you're saying, dude, I've never hugged myself. That's not what Jesus meant. It didn't mean go in the corner, I love me. It's not that. What he's saying is the same way that you always take attention to yourself. Because I'll tell you this, if you get hungry, all right, you can sit there and go, Kent, there's not a single thing in our house. I'm not. But you know what? You get some hunger going for a while, you'd be amazed what you eat out of your cabinets, isn't it?
Oh,
You'll be
yeah.
sitting there going, why am I eating this? Well, I guess I was hungry. It's amazing. But you know what? That same way that we take care. So many of you picked out your clothes today that you're wearing even right now. You picked it out. You selected it out. You sit there and went, yeah, that's what I'm going to wear. You know, you looked at yourself in the mirror. Yeah. Because you liked it. You knew what you wanted to wear today. You know, in that same care, are you going to be able to think of others? In the same way that we think through of what you're going to wear tomorrow. Same way that you think to do things that move you, that you want to do. Will we be able to do that and think of others? That's how you become a hero. That is how you become a hero. One of the great things that I love is we challenge students, and some of you in this room are really my heroes, because we have a ministry out of our ministry called Campus Missionaries, and it's where we've challenged students to be a missionary to their own school. So many of you that have been at a flagpole at See at the Pole, and you get done that day and then you kind of go, well, now what? That was awesome. But then you sit there and you start going, well, now what are we going to do to reach our school? That day comes, maybe a few people have even asked you, well, what were you doing at the flagpole, by the way? What was that? What was that aluminum holding thing? You know, they'll ask you, what is that? And it gives you, what are you going to do the rest of the day when they forget all about that you were at your flagpole? See, if the pole's been around enough, people will always know, going, oh yeah, it's that time of the year, they're at the flagpole thing, whatever they're doing. Yeah, that group's back. Once a year, they're over there. You know, what are you going to do the rest of the school year? See, that's what I love about Campus Missionaries, is it's challenging teenagers basically to grow in loving the Lord with all their heart, mind, soul, and strength. And it's also helping you to love others as yourself. It's doing those two things and living it out. We have 5 habits. Pray, just like you pray at See at the Pole. Pray every day. Ask God to fill you with His Holy Spirit. 2 is to live. Live the life that you're talking about. In other words, what you're going to talk about, live it. Live what you talk. Or walk better than you talk even. Thirdly is to tell. Look for an opportunity where you can basically develop a list of unsaved friends that need to know Christ and begin to pray for them every day, and then look for opportunities, whether you personally share with them or you get them to opportunities, events like a youth convention. You know, like a youth convention in October, our Friday night service is totally geared to putting a gospel message out there. And what's so cool about it is then you have the rest of the weekend to hang out with your youth group, make relationships, and they can be tied in, you know, really knitted into your youth group. So when they come home, there's relationship there that helps them grow in that relationship with Christ. 4th is to serve. There is going to be no better way to show your school Christ's love than by doing acts of service to others. Even starting a non-campus Bible club, but it's a Bible club that's just not there to be doing prayer and holy huddles and Bible studies, but it's also acts of kindness and service, where you could tie into clothing, a food shelter in town. Or maybe a pantry that needs, that helps the homeless and they need clothing. You can do those types of drives in your school where you can have collection baskets where students are able to bring things in and you can take it to that ministry that does those types of things. It's amazing all the things you can do. The final one is give, where we encourage you to give your time, talents, and basically all of your efforts to the missions efforts of your local church.